Hello everyone, it's DuckFairy07. Today we are playing Grixis Deaths Shadow, and this build is basically very similar to the Grixis Deaths Shadow lists in the past on my channel. So if you just imagine, we are using Kaervek the Punisher instead of Underworld Breach that was usually in the main in these decks in the past. And then to utilize the Kaervek the Punisher maximally, I'm also playing a Grief scam package instead of you'd usually play like something like another threat or Murktide in these slots, whatever. So Grief is very good threat. Grief scam, of course, wins a lot of games when you can back this up with cheap creatures like Shadow, Channeler, Orcish Bowmaster, and now also Kaervek. You can really end games quickly. Also, we get access to expressive iteration, a great additional card advantage engine. But yeah, Kaervek, since you have a 0 mana a Grief here, you can do often something with Kaervek, even if you play it on turn 3, like go Kaervek, Mishra's Bauble, target opponent, you commit a crime, then you can replay the Grief from your hand, from your graveyard if you have black creature, a black card in your hand to cast it from the graveyard, of course, for 0 mana. So you can usually get the value immediately, but it's better if you can use it when you have at least 1 or 2 mana open to play out like 1 or 2 or 3 of your spells. So also if you get to untap with Kaervek, then you can do really crazy stuff and just play a bunch of cards from your graveyard, so it can be really strong. So we have Totsis, we have Fatal Push, we have Death Shadow, we have Not Dead After All, Bowmasters and Griefs in the main, and also Molten Collapse, Edict, and Surgical Extractions in the side. That is a lot, that is actually a lot. Also Surgical Extractions work well with Kaervek, and also Kaervek makes you lose 2 life, which sometimes plays really well with Death Shadow, enables Death Shadow, grows him, whatever. I think Kaervek is a good fit in the Shadow Scam build, and I've been really impressed with it so far. So yeah, okay, so on the sideboard I got Dress Downs. Dress Down work great with Shadows, of course. And it's good against Zoo, Territorial Cow, Shielded Edict also there to fight a Scion, but also sometimes to kill just big creatures and Planeswalkers. On opponent's side, Surgicals, good against Reanimator strategies, and also in this deck Surgical is even better because you play 4 Totsis, 4 Grief, so you can just discard one of the best cards from opponent's deck like Yawgmoth, like Titan, and just surgical it immediately. It can be really good. Underworld Breach as another grindy card which wins you a lot of grindy games. So some Artificate, removal, and damping spheres. So that's it, and let's go check out the gameplay. Okay, so let's start with match 2, and then we'll go to defeat in the end. So it was a 4-1 league. Okay, so here I'm playing second. I have turn 1 Channeler, turn 2 Bowmasters, so it's decent but situation for me. But opponent was playing first, and they have a turn 2 Wrenn to kill my Channeler. Really good play, strong play for the opponent here. And yeah, I have Death Shadow here. My opponent already used the Wrenn 6, so they can't kill it here with Wrenn 6. So I went for the Bowmaster, like trying to kill this Wrenn 6, but they have Bolt, so I was not able to do this. Unfortunately, draw into another land, and I can't really play Shadow because my Shadow will be 1-1. So opponent goes for Bitter Reunion, discards Archon, so definitely they're playing the creativity. Okay, so I go for Totsis, discard Reunion. Now it's safe for me to play the Shadow, attacking Wrenn 6, and passing the turn. I have Delta. I can go for maybe a Survey Land. But yeah, only Surveillant is already in my hand. Okay, so here I go for Surveillant now from my hand, keep the expressive iteration on top, and my opponent is just in a much better situation right now. They're just plussing the Wren, getting the lands, waiting to draw creativity, and then basically I certainly lose. Okay, so I find the heat, I find the bubble, still looking for a threat of some kind. So I just decide to kill the Wren 6 here and pass the turn holding the Fatal Push, drawing another card the next turn. Okay, so here I go, unfortunately just another land on top. That is a lot of lands for deck playing 19 lands, but opponent doesn't have much too, so I guess that's fine. But yeah, basically I have all my lands on the field. One Watery Grave, one Steam Vents, one Surveillant, 4 Blood Crypts, that's all of them. I also think I have one more basic. But yeah, okay, so here opponent goes for the Dwarven Mine, bolts me face, and they just have a double bolt here, so I finally draw into the Bowmaster, but opponent has kill in their hands, so that is the game, and let's check out the game 2. Okay, so in the game 2, it's a pretty decent hand. Turn 1 Thoughtseize and Bauble. I have a removal, I have Grief, so hoping to find Undying Spell. I discard Creativity, but their hand is still pretty good. They have Transmogrify, they have Bitter Reunion, they have Archon. I decide to take the Reunion, so they still have Transmogrify. I have to deal with that. Here I find another Spell Pierce, which is great, and yeah, I decide to pierce this bolt, and I have a Bowmaster and a Heat to deal with Transmogrify, so that's a pretty good situation for me. Opponent has Archon and Mogrify in hand and the Secret Mystery card. Okay, so now I can start attacking with Deaths Shadow, holding my Bowmasters too. Now I play one of the Bowmasters, and yeah, also Surgical is here now. I can grow my Deaths Shadow, go for the kill next turn. And now opponent goes for the Dwarven Mine, tries to Mogrify, but I have another Bowmaster and they just concede to that, so that is game over. Let's check out game 3 and also let's check out the sideboarding plan. Okay, so on the draw I trim 2 channelers because it's so easy to kill them for my opponent. It can be pretty bad when they have Wren and just Graveyard Hate and just kill all your channelers. So trimming 2, I think it's fine. My other threats are better anyway in this matchup. So other than that, I trim 1 Kaervek. On the draw it can be too slow and just a single Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize is good against them, but I needed some space for the sideboard cards. Okay, here not a great situation. Opponent was able to Thoughtseize my channel, I think, and here they go for Fable, but I decide to use Pierce on that one, and yeah, passing the turn here, not looking great, and finally I find the expressive iteration. And yeah, finding another expressive iteration, putting Kaervek to hand, taking another Spell Pierce and bolt them to face, putting them on 11. And yeah, now I have Kaervek plus Spell Pierce that is actually like acceptable. And yeah, so drawing into Deaths Shadow, but I have 15 life. Yeah, I'm not sure why I have 15 life. Should have Yeah, I'm not sure why I have 15 here. Maybe I should have probably shocked. But yeah, it's fine. And opponent goes for Death Shadow and I f6. I think I f6 here on my turn. And passing the turn, opponent now goes for a bitter triumph. And I think I f6 on their turn. That's what I wanted to say. And I really wanted to use this Not Dead After All. But I think I accidentally f6'd until end of turn. So I was not able to see my Death Shadow. That was a big problem. But yeah, here I had a good play anyway. I was just in a really good situation by drawing Bowmaster here, and now I use my Not Dead After All, and I could just trade with the Dwarf token and bring back a Bowmaster to kill the other guy, and then grieve them, take the creativity, passing the turn, and opponent now has 0 cards in hand and they will die next turn, and that is the game. So I was able to win despite despite the misclick. So yeah, I got there, and let's check out match 2. Okay, so keeping pretty decent hand here. I go for the survey land on 1. My hand is fine, iteration and heat, and here I find Not Dead After All, great top deck in a current situation. I discard 2 of the best cards from my opponent's hand. They're 2 cantrips, leaving them with just Damage, so they just don't have much to do here. And I can start attacking with Grief, also Bowmaster is great against them. I have iteration, I have heat, have the Bowmaster, so I decided just to hold on the Bowmaster this turn. I was expecting them to play some card draw cards, and I play Bowmaster in response to the Monomorphose. They lose 2 here, get 2/2 army token, and now I can go for the iteration. Now I can go for attack, and I decide just to kill the damage, go in for 6. And my opponent of course drawing a lot of cards with their Phoenix deck, so Bowmaster is pretty good against them. And yeah, here they go just playing the draw spells, losing a bunch of life, and that is the game. I just had a lethal in many ways, so that is the game. Let's check out the game 2. Okay, let's also check the sideboarding plan for this one. I decided to trim 2 Totsis and 1 Kaervek in this matchup, and also 1 Channeler. They can be pretty aggressive when I'm playing on the draw, so I decided to just take out the Totsis because it puts me too low on life, and 1 Kaervek can, 3 Kaerveks can be too slow. They're also just legendary, so decide to trim on those 2, and yeah. Okay, here opponent goes just doing the Faithless Salvaging thing, and I decide it's good time to just it's better for me just to hold mana for the Bowmaster this turn and just play it. Opponent has a gut shot, so I don't do another ping here. Opponent goes for the Monomorphose and surgicals my Bowmasters. Bowmasters are just a big problem for them, and here they go returning the Phoenix, but opponent only has 1 card right now, and I was able to just get rid of the Phoenix easily, and they need to play 3 spells to get it back, which is not the easiest in their position right now. Okay, so I go for the Grief, see only a land in their hand, Preordain on top, passing the turn here, drawing Fatal Push. Opponent starts with a Preordain, trying to find more cantrips to bring back Phoenix, of course. And yeah, opponent does it. They double Preordain and get back the Phoenix. So I play the heat, play the land, pass the turn. Opponent is now on 10 life. I have a good clock here. Unfortunately, no fetches for me here, so I really can't use this fatal push. Opponent plays Salvaging, plays Totscour, but again missing a third card. So I'm still able to just continue attacking. 3 turn clock here. I have 2 removals. So a good or decent odds here for me to do something. Okay, opponent rebounds the Salvaging, but still don't have enough. And yeah, I find the Bolt, which means I can just finish a game this turn, and that is the match. Okay, that's it. So let's check out match 3. Okay, so I have Thoughtseize, I have Grief Scam on 1. And yeah, all my cards are just really good here. So I only have 1 land. That is why I wanted to keep my 1 mana cards. And here I go for the Theater. Unfortunately, it's not a blue mana, so I can't play Expiration next turn. I still need another land. Okay, opponent. I discarded Dryad, I discarded Scion, Brennan 6, so my opponent is obviously playing some 5-color Scapeshift. Opponent goes for Dryad here, passing the turn. I failed here. Before combat I should have played Deaths Shadow to get Delirium and then kill the Dryad and going for 2 extra damage with Channeler. I went to combat too fast. Okay, so my opponent, I would be in a much better situation if my opponent was on 3 life right now than on 5. I missed the 2 damage there, but yeah, opponent plays the 1 ring, but I have 2 attackers for the next turn, and it's really not, they're losing life with the 1 ring 2 here, so opponent successfully finds a Dryad. They have double Valakut and they find the kill with the Valakuts, so that is the game. So I guess that 2 life wouldn't matter anyway, but yeah, it was the better play there. And yeah, let's check out game 2, and also let's check out the sideboarding plan. I mulled to 5, but keeping mull to 5 with Grief Scam is a pretty good mull. So also I keep the Thoughtseize, so I can play the Thoughtseize on the next turn. Discard another card, so basically discarding their whole hand. Orcish Bowmaster is pretty bad against them, doesn't do much. And and also the same thing is worth for the Lightning Bolt. So I just boarded out those 6 cards. I have some useful sideboard cards like Spell Pierce and yeah, like Better Removal, stuff like that. So that's it. Grief Scam did its thing, and I was holding Not Dead After All and Spell Pierce, and so they also need to do some fetching to be able to play their spells. Okay, so now I can hold Not Dead After All plus Spell Pierce, which means that's like pretty good position for me. If they try to kill it, I have 2 ways out of this, so the opponent doesn't find the solution and I get the game and the win there. So let's check out game 3. Okay, so I have Thoughtseize and the push and the Bauble. It seems like a pretty good hand. Also like also of course missing a Scam spell. to have just a brutal hand here. Okay, so I brought in Shielded Edicts here. I removed bolts. Edict should be much better. They play Wren, they play Teferi, they play Dryad, all the cards that yeah, so you can see my opponent's hand here. It's pretty good. Double Leyline Binding, Prismatic Ending, Sign of Jaco, a Dryad of Elysian Grove, so pretty strong hand. I have some good answers too. There's like Cast into Fire, Shielded Edict, Fatal Push there, a lot of answers. Okay, so I go for the Bauble. Bauble, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, this was so I target Grief. I target, sorry, Totsis. I play Totsis, and with Totsis I get another Kaervek ability, so I target Grief in the yard, and then I play the Fatal Push, kill the Dryad, discard another Dryad from their hand, discard a Leyline Binding. So Kaervek did a lot. Kaervek did a lot. Okay, yeah, here I failed. I had I wanted to play Cast into Fire to trigger Kaervek ability to play Fatal Push and just kill the Dryad and kill my opponent, but I forgot to play the fetch before that, so I was not able to target the Dryad with Fatal Push, so I had to give up on that plan. And yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it could be costly, that type of mistake. But here now I fetched first, of course, trigger the Revolt, then play the Totsis and trigger my Fatal Push in the yard to kill the Dryad and going for lethal. So I had a lethal, I had a kill anyway, but I had a kill last turn if I just killed this Dryad and played my fetch. So this turn, luckily, I draw into all my spells, basically triggered the Kaervek. It's Bowmasters, Totsis, Lightning Bolt, Unholy Heat, Fatal Push, Mishra's Bauble. All my spells like trigger Kaervek, so it's pretty easy to do it in the deck. And just anything I draw here triggers my Fatal Push and means I can kill the Dryad going for lethal. So that is the game and the match. And so let's check out the last win of this league. Okay, so it's a decent hand. I'm lacking a bit of enablers for Deaths Shadow with this hand, but it's good. I have Bauble to draw. I can hoping to hit another land on turn 2 to be able to play the Bowmaster, then go for the iteration on turn 3. Yeah, Blood Crypt is kind of perfect here. Going down on 15, playing the Bowmasters immediately. Opponent takes down the Bowmaster, but I'm pretty happy with that, and I decide to risk it, just go full risk here. My opponent is clearly Solitude deck, but yeah, Solitude is just so good against Deaths Shadow. I have to sometimes risk like this, and if they killed my Orc Army token there with Solitude, they would just clear my entire board, but it feels like a risk I had to take to win this one. And opponent didn't have Solitude there, so the risk paid off, which means I have a 2-turn kill clock here. Opponent goes for the One Ring, I play the Bowmaster in response. We all know how good a Bowmaster can be against the One Ring. And here it is, yeah, I put them down to 8. opponent triggers my Bowmaster, and if they don't have a removal for it, it can be a pretty big problem. Okay, so here I play the fetch and opponent finds a Supreme Verdict to clear my entire board. And on my turn I was able to go for the channeler, bolt them face and play the grief, but I discarded the second ring. They needed that ring to survive, and they just died from the ring next turn, so they concede the match, and that was it. Okay, let's check out game 2 against blue-white control, and also let's check out the sideboarding plan. Okay, 2 shadows out in this matchup. Shadow is pretty bad against Solitude decks. Okay, so trimming just single Totsis and a single Unholy Heats to bring in like stuff like Spell Pierce, Shielded Edict instead of push, and one heat also went out. Okay, I just don't have much. I don't have anything to kill with push basically, or very little, and yeah, I prefer just having bolt in this one. Okay, so also one cast into the fire to have answer for the one ring. Opponent just plays prismatic ending, passes the turn. I take their one ring with Totsis. That was like really important thing to do here. Passing the turn with a very decent hand. Okay, I'm lacking and I really want another land here, and I decided to go for the Kaervek. I was expecting something like subtlety here. Yeah, so I went for Kaervek last turn, and now Grief plus a Spell Pierce, taking a Solitude, leaving them with a Subtlety, Counterspell and Leyline Binding. They Leyline Binding my Grief, and now we're kind of a top deck mode. They also use the Counterspell, so now they have Subtlety and a Mystery card. Okay, so opponent finds a hole of Storm Giants here for lethal, and I can't do anything about that, so that is the game. And let's check out game 3. Okay, so in the game 3 I find a Grief Scam on turn 1, followed up with Orcish Bowmaster. That is a pretty great start, but unfortunately I forgot to play my land before doing the Grief Scam, so yeah, that kind of thing can happen too. So but yeah, just my hand was just so good that even that didn't matter in this one. It was a much closer game than it would be if I just scammed the Grief on turn 1, of course. But yeah, I think seeing a fair game against this one, it also feels pretty good. Here I was able to play the Bowmaster. Opponent had answer for it, but I played the Channeler as a 3-3, find another Bowmaster on top. Bowmaster is great against them, especially when you can back it up with stuff like Not Dead After All. So here opponent is screwed, and I was able to continue attacking and play my second Channeler here. Opponent surveils, playing the 4th land, passing the turn. I have pretty good attack here, doing more surveilling, and yeah, opponent just goes for subtlety here, which means I can take, they have Solitude and one ring in hand, so I can basically take both, but because I had Not Dead After All in my hand, I decided that I will let them play the Solitude, then Not Dead After All, I was expecting them to just Solitude the Channeler since they can't block it. So I let them Solitude my Channeler, and then play my Undying Spell on Bowmasters. and get back my Bowmasters, kill a Solitude, grow my Orc Army token, and present a 2-turn lethal clock there. So I thought that was a much better play here. And opponent, yeah, does as expected, and I was able to go in for 5, getting close to lethal. And now I have Bowmasters as a lethal attacker for the next turn, and opponent concedes. That is the game. So I failed with the grease cam on turn 1. I saw people do this in the past, but this is first time it actually happened to me. Yeah, it was funny when I saw it happen to somebody else. Not so funny when it happened to me, but yeah, I was able to get the game anyway. Okay, so that is the match. And let's check out the first match of this league, which was a loss actually. Okay, so let's check out that one. Okay, I had to mulligan that first hand, keeping a hand with 2 bubbles, grief. So I'm drawing 3 cards here, and I also have fetch to pseudo scry with Bauble first, and then also try to find a surveil land. Surveil Topsies on bottom, do another Bauble, and see the slick shot show off on the top. Unfortunately, not finding lands here was crucial. If I was able right now to just play the Bowmaster, kill their channeler, this would be entirely different game. But at least I was able to like go for the grief and play my own channeler, so that's something. Okay, opponent plots the show off here, and I was able to find a second land, but now it was a different situation. Opponent now had it was really easy for them right now to make channeler delirious with almost like any spell. So I decided just to try to race and going for 5 here. So I have multiple options here, kind of mana screwed, and opponent has another slick shot, and that is just overkill. So I had to concede that one, and let's check out game 2. Yeah, being mana screwed for or against prowess, yeah, can be pretty hard. Okay, so let's check out the sideboarding plan here. I took out 1 iteration, all my Thoughtseize, Kaerveks, to fit in the sideboard cards, some more removal, and also to Breach. Breach can be pretty relevant against them. They also play Breach, so I really don't just want to scoop to their Breach, so playing my own. Breach can do a good job here, just flashbacking couple of removals from the graveyard, and a couple of bubbles can be very good. Opponent goes channeler plus dart, but I can now go just play the Bowmasters and continue attacking, holding more removal. Also Breach is excellent at the moment. I can go for the fatal push here, a surveil end of turn, and just hold with Bowmaster and Breach in hand, just continue attacking. Okay, I go for another Bowmaster and attack my opponent down to a 9, and I can deal 6 with lightning bolts this turn. Okay, so here I go for just to kill their blocker, and I was hoping for them to kill one of my, if they kill one of my creatures, it's good. I can just play another spell from the yard, so I don't lose anything with that. And yeah, okay, so here playing the Breach, and putting myself in a really good situation. Opponent has two creatures here, two blockers, and I'm really close to lethal here, but I'm missing a single damage. So I see Kaervek on top, and I decide to keep Kaervek. Opponent holding two blockers back, and yeah, I need about anything just here to trigger Kaervek. I should have played the Bauble first to just be certain I will be able to trigger it, and then I played the Molten Collapse from the graveyard. Great job Kaervek doing here, just letting me kill a creature for free, and they can very easily just block it. So now I draw into Not Dead After All, and I have 3 attackers, so that's a really good position for me. Almost impossible. Opponent has Giganta plus a mystery card, so they're able to go for Lava Dart, kill the Bowmaster, but I tried to go for the Not Dead After All, bring back Bowmaster, kill my opponent immediately. So that is the game, and let's check out the last game of this league. Okay, so one lander here, but with fetch and bubble. This means you can first bubble yourself, see if there's land on top. If there's not land, you can just fetch for the survey land. Also look at the top card of your library again, then draw 2 cards. That is just pretty good odds of finding that land. So I like to keep those type of hands. Also, this deck can function with a low amount of lands, but you mostly need like 3. And yeah, okay, so I draw Fatal Push from the top, and luckily find that land I was looking for. So here I had Fatal Push, of course, but I decided to use my mana as best as I can, and I went for the Shielded Edict this turn, taking 3 damage here, hoping to get another removal to kill this Slickshot Show-Off. But yeah, the problem was that I'm really losing a lot of life by shocking here. My mana base is just losing me a bunch of life. Okay, here I go for just a Mishra Bubble, passing the turn, holding the Bowmasters. But I'm down on 5 life. That is definitely very low, and I finally find a Grief. Grief would definitely win me the game here, but opponent was able to find the breach before that and finish me off with a double bolt from the graveyard. So that's it, and that was the game and the last match and the entire league with this Kaervek Grixis Shadow scam. I think, yeah, playing Grief is a pretty good way of utilizing Kaervek mana wise. Just you can play the Bauble. Bauble is a great crime enabler, and you can enable Kaervek as many times as you like in each turn. So when you start playing these spells, almost every spell just does crime again. So you can chain 2-3 of these spells, and just Kaervek can really easily take over the game. So it's a really powerful card, and I really like it in this build, with using Grief really to its maximum. So that's it. Okay, so hope you like the video, hope you like the gameplay. A friendly reminder to click like, click subscribe, comment in the video. You could see Kaervek going crazy a couple of times in this one, and I think I really like card in the Rakdos Grixis builds of this kind. Maybe I'm only playing like 16 non-black cards in this build, but I think cards like Shadow, Fatal Push, Totsis, Grief, Bowmasters are really excellent pair with Kaervek. Also like Surgical Extraction, and any removal. But yeah, I was definitely considering going with more pushes for the more cards that can be played from the graveyard with Kaervek, but I really like the split between push and the heat and the bolt, so I'm very happy with that. So I think I'm going with this for now. And yeah, again, thank you for watching. That's it for today, and goodbye.